All right. Welcome to another episode of How I Met Your Mortgage. As always, I'm your host, Adam Smith with Just the Tips Coaching, and I've got a fantastic guest for you guys today. Actually, a repeat guest and somebody that I am ridiculously fond of. I would definitely put her in the BFF category for sure. Welcome back to the show, Marty Johnson. Hi, Marty.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really well. It's been an absolutely crazy year so far,
Right.
and we're just barely into Q2.
Yeah.
There are all kinds of weird things that have gone on, are going on. The world's still a bit of a cartoon, but hey, at least America leads the way. We're number one in cartoon.
There you go.
So there's that. But yeah, let's talk about Marty. What has Marty been up to? Marty, let's give the audience a little bit of background. We've known each other quite a long time. You are a mortgage originator in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. Memory serves you're actually in the hoity-toity suburb of Alpine.
Correct. Wow, good memory. Good job.
Oh, well, not too bad. Oh, I've been there.
I know you've been, yes.
Well, that's for a number of reasons, but that's obviously part of our coaching program is doing on-site visits and seeing where our people are actually working and how their space flows and those kinds of things. I hate to label it feng shui because I really don't know what the fuck that means, but I want to make sure that all of our clients have good workspace, good workflow. What adjustments can we make? Those kinds of things. Of course, we didn't really have a whole lot of issue with you. We did rearrange your actual office quite a bit.
Right.
We left your home office alone. We thought that was a pretty spectacular setup if you're going to be able to work from home. And I think since that time, you actually do work a lot more from home than you did.
I do. Well, I actually have another office space because I moved out of the one that
I saw. Okay.
And it's actually closer to my home. So I do have an office space in Alpine, Utah. Oh. And I'm actually doing this one from home, but I also have a nice setup there as well.
Okay. How often are you there?
I try to be there actually 3 days a week. So usually I'm more there than here, depending on the week.
Yeah, that's usually what we recommend. And it's the same MO that I have. I go to the office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, work from home on Monday, Friday. And of course, you know full well that if you want to be a really good loan originator, it's probably an eyes open to eyes closed 7-day a week kind of gig.
Yeah.
So, we have smartphones, we have laptops, we have all these things that enable us to be really mobile. In fact, we just learned that you were here in Denver for 10 days, spending time with your grandkids.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go into what happened after those 10 days, because I assure you, the good people at the La Quinta Inn in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, don't want to ever see you again.
Yeah.
If you guys know Marty, you'll have to ask her that story, because I'm not going to.
Well, let's just say I was viciously sick. Yeah. Let's just leave it at that.
Violently ill
at a La Quinta, and I've got trauma related to La Quinta now, so they're no longer a hotel I will stay at.
Okay, so does the entire housekeeping department.
Right.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, I can't even tell you. It's all good.
So being gone for 10 days, though, you don't get a 10-day vacation. You've got to get work done. People are buying houses. People are refinancing houses. People are taking out lines of credit. They're building homes, whatever the case may be. There is no shortage of people that need to borrow money.
Right.
And right now, go ahead.
I was going to say, and in this industry, it's like you plan a trip and you triple your business, because
absolutely,
it's all of a sudden everyone comes out of the woodwork, and so you have to plan on that.
We just talked about the fact that I had spent, and you are about to spend, some time at a facility for one of our wholesale lenders. For those of you that aren't clear on how being true wholesale mortgage brokers work, there are, 100 wholesale mortgage banks out there that you've never heard of. We're not talking about retail depositories here like B of A or US Bank that we as mortgage brokers borrow the money from to give to our clients. It's in a wholesale space, so the rates are usually lower, the costs are lower, those kinds of things. That's why there is this added benefit to being a true wholesale mortgage broker rather than a mortgage banker, or, well, that's really about it, wholesale versus retail. And I would still guess that about 80% of the origination world out there is retail. Those numbers seem to be shifting, but slowly again. When we had big eras of margin compression, you saw a lot more people get into the wholesale space.
Yeah.
Their clients better rates.
Sure.
We'll see what continues to go on. Obviously, a lot of big things have gone on in the mortgage space as of late. Rocket acquiring Redfin.
Well, and I gotta say, look, there's, for those out there, broker versus retail. I mean, there's pros and cons to both.
Totally. So, you've done both.
I've done both.
That's probably a good bit of fodder, because I get asked all the time, and even probably you asked when we were working together as the coach and student. And I don't know. I've always been a wholesale broker or a wholesale broker owner.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're in the loan origination space and you want to hear about the benefits and deficits of retail versus wholesale, talk to Marty. She will absolutely tell you where it. And Marty crushed it for years with Loan Depot.
In retail or Fairway.
Retail model. Yep, Fairway. Yeah. Good example.
I was all retail for many years, and I started in the business as a broker. I started wholesale 20 years ago as a broker, and again, pros and cons to the model, and I'm in that model right now, but I did not do well as a broker initially at all, because you are kind of on your own island, and you can control things, but if you don't know a lot about systems and about processes and have the experience in the industry, then a broker world, you're going to feel like somebody dropped you off on Mars and you're trying to figure out how to
get back to Earth, right?
It's very different. Where, retail, it's kind of, everything's in a box and in one place and all the systems are connected but again, pros and cons to both, because it just has to fit what your business model is.
Well, I think we still see that a lot. I think we see, now we don't see any new LOs, and I want to come back to that because nobody wants the job. I had a prospect, a client's child, who thought he wanted to get into the business, and he failed his exam 3 times. And I can't remember. I think you got to wait a year in order to take it again if you do that. Okay. It's been a minute since I've taken a mortgage exam. So that part was a little surprising to me. The bar is set pretty high. It's not an easy job to do. And we know that there are very few left since the peak of the pandemic, when it was really easy, boring, but easy. Every time the phone rang, it was somebody wanted to refinance.
Oh, yeah. Right? Loans were falling out of the sky.
Out of the sky, but boring. Very vanilla stuff. The same rate and term refinances over and over. But from the pinnacle of that, we went from something close to 1 million licensed active loan originators in the country down to less than 100,000.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. I don't know what NMLS numbers, what federal license numbers, for those of you that don't know what NMLS is, are being issued these days, but I think we're close to about 3 million. Yeah. They issue them chronologically. So for those of you that don't know, you can go tell how much experience your mortgage originator, your loan officer has by how small their NMLS number is.
How many numbers is it? Yeah.
Yeah. They're starting to read like international phone numbers. Agree. Yeah. No question. So that's obviously a big piece of the puzzle, but right now is very, very interesting. And I'm going to ignore the anomaly of the last week and what's gone on from a financial perspective because of what's going on in the political arena and the absolute bloodbath that went into the mortgage-backed securities market, or went on in the mortgage-backed securities market last week.
Yeah.
But over time, last couple of years, let's call it 24 months, actually maybe more now, maybe 30. I think the very peak of interest rates in that era was October of 22. So yeah,
Probably.
right at 2.5 years, right at 30 months. And in that time frame, rates have come down. It hasn't been dramatic. It's
No.
kind of been slow and steady, again, barring last week's bloodbath. Um, and as a result, things have picked up. People
Hmm.
are buying houses and people are refinancing houses and so on and so forth. All while it's pretty much the fewest number of active licensed loan
Loan
originators
officers.
that has
Hmm.
existed in a
Yeah.
long, long time. So yeah, we're really kind of in an interesting phenomenon here where I think there's going to be a bit of a bottleneck. If this trend continues, then we're going to need more LOs.
Or LOs are going to need bigger teams.
Well, that's certainly part of it. And obviously, you and I have had those conversations in depth because we worked a lot on team
Yeah.
structure together.
Sure.
And I think there's another piece of that because I think, in addition to team, I think we need to also understand that we need systems, we need automation.
Yes.
We need to be incorporating good work with AI. Another good friend of ours, yours and mine, loan originator in Nashville, Tennessee, Keith Geringer. He and I have been working on some AI models, some AI code writing to basically, because the data's all there,
Yeah.
to basically let people kind of structure their own loan. What debts do I want to pay off? So we have, online applications, and all of us do that. If you're still taking a handwritten application by phone or whatever the case may be, then welcome to 1988, or welcome back to 1988. And when we get that data, we start working on what would be good loan structures for our client. Are we taking cash out? Are we paying off debt? Are we buying a home? All these different nuances. And then we go seeking out data. A credit report, for example.
Okay.
Interest rates. What does the pricing look like? We go check out Loan Sifter. For those of you that aren't familiar, it's kind of a compilation database of what all these wholesale mortgage banks are offering at any given moment for rates, for costs, for yields, etc. But the data is there. The credit report data is there. The pricing data is there.
Yeah.
So if we can use AI to automate all of that and give our clients, our customers, some control of how they want to structure their loan, then we're going to be able to streamline our processes.
That's a very interesting. I know Keith very well. Him and I became very close friends because of the techie backgrounds that we both have.
Yep. And he still is absolute techie.
No question. He's a total
to
nerd.
The point where he can't even focus on his mortgage business. Squirrel.
He'd rather do systems than do loans.
Yeah, AI derailed his mortgage practice.
Which,
for sure.
To be honest, sometimes systems are much friendlier than doing loans. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. It's very black and white. Yeah. So having these kinds of things, team, systems, automation, systemization, technology, so on and so forth, are the things that are going to enable the smallest population of mortgage originators that we've had in God knows how long, dealing with what will essentially be one of the biggest periods of volume of mortgages that we've dealt with. And if that occurred this year, next year, that would not surprise me in the least. I do think it's relatively unpredictable, but yeah, I think that you're right. If I were going to give advice to mortgage originators today, certainly team leaders, branch managers, broker owners, get those systems in place, get your team in place, and then pressure test it, right? When we were working together as, the teacher and student, we basically wanted you to fuck up faster.
Yeah.
Pressure test those systems, figure out where the cracks are, where the holes are, because we want to make sure that everybody we work with has a stellar experience.
Right. And you don't want to wait until you have too much business to set up systems, because systems will allow
you don't have time.
No, you don't have time. Systems will take over and will do reminders. We'll send automated emails. We'll send automated texts. We'll send communication back and forth that you don't have to touch, and still have the process really smooth.
Yeah, and there's more to it than just smooth. We
Sure.
want it internally as best as we can to be redundant.
Yes.
We want that process for us, for our team, to be the same. And when we talked about it, we talked about how we make a Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And one person, takes the order and lays out the bun.
Right.
And then the next person puts on the lettuce and the sauce and the patty. And then another person puts on the pickles and boxes it up and throws it in the window for the consumer,
right.
for the customer, right? So we want that system in place to be as synonymous with every mortgage we write as we can. We want them to be as similar to each other as we can, because we want to be able to deliver that same smooth, consistent process for everybody.
Right.
That's how we build a repeat and referral business.
Yes, and that's how we become efficient. We don't lose things through the cracks. Everything is consistently the same. You're asking the same types of questions. You're asking, for the same type of documents in that section of the process. So, yes, it becomes easier.
Okay, what is your favorite piece of tech that you've adopted in order to make all of this run smoother?
My CRM.
Oh. Are you saying that because you know that would
make you happy?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was going to be a little more inappropriate. It is just the tips, but
no.
That was going to make me wet. Or are you saying that because your CRM
it really
is the bomb?
It really is my favorite.
Okay.
The loan officer system is not my favorite, but everything flows from there into my CRM, and I can customize and automate the whole process flow for me and my team because I've customized the system, customized the CRM. So it spits out things, it handles things, it makes check marks and automates, reminders, all of the things. And look, there's a lot of different points to the process. There's a lot of different things that you have to do along the process. There's just a constant barrage of tasks.
And we're still just talking about somebody that's in the loan process.
Yes.
We even talked about the fact that your job is actually to originate loans. Your job is to
now we haven't gotten to that yet.
Right.
No, we haven't gotten to that yet. But this is even just making sure that I, in my ADD brain, don't miss a step. I don't hyper focus over here and then forget about these things over here. The CRM keeps me on track. It keeps me on task. It keeps everything, communication flowing and all in one space. So I can go back to phone calls and say, oh yeah, we talked about this. We talked about this scenario on this date. And so that I don't have to keep everything up here. It also helps my team. So my team can go in and see what conversations that I've had, and they can take that information and do the tasks that they need to do. So yes, the CRM is definitely my favorite for that reason, as well as following up and prospecting and getting leads and referrals.
So it's not a secret for anybody involved that I think contact management is the biggest piece of the pie.
The biggest problem loan officers have, let's be honest.
Okay. I think that's true too. Real estate agents, anybody that's got a direct-to-consumer sales gig for a large ticket item. I think that is I think it's where we see the success or failure.
Yes.
Okay. Which is funny because we are going back. So a little bit of background for those of you that are not old listeners. This is well into our 8th year of doing the podcast, or you haven't read any of the things I've written, you don't watch the video blog, whatever. I've got a contact database of like 20,000 people that I touch 40 to 70 times a year when they're not working on an active transaction, which is what makes my business strictly repeat and referral. And this all started long before there was video or social media or any of those kinds of things, with a class I taught, coursework I taught, that was called Zero Cost Marketing for Repeat and Referral Business, right? And it was strictly contact management. It was just CRM. That's basically all that it was. Is we taught classes on CRM type stuff. Organize your database, keep it up to date, make sure you have some kind of contact management calendar that you're obviously synchronized with how you're staying in front of people, right? That was actually the toehold for what is now Just the Tips. And I have been asked, for those of you that are in the real estate space and are listening or watching live or in syndication, because this will be out long before we do it, or well, certainly a week before we do it. But later this week, I am teaching that original contact management class for any of the agents that subscribe to Shawami that want to take it. So if you are a real estate agent and you subscribe to Shawami for your showing service, then yeah, reach out to the owners, Matt or Josh Kuchar, and they'll help you get signed up for that. But yeah, it's still the backbone of good lead gen work.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, if you're not doing CRM stuff, then we still
shouldn't be in the business. Let me just say it.
Marty, I still come across new coaching clients that have a contact database in an Excel spreadsheet.
Well, that's only like one step worse than Outlook. Come on.
Oh, wow. And twists the knife to boot. All right.
Microsoft Office is not a CRM. Okay.
All right. So let's look a little down the road.
Okay.
What do you think is going to be the next great piece of tech that you're going to adopt and implement?
Are you talking about me and my business?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Well,
what do you got your site set
on? What's the next one that I want? Well, I want to set up more stuff using AI, like Keith is doing. I'm gonna have to call him now that I know he's building something like that.
Yeah, we're trying to pioneer.
But right now, I don't know that I'm adding anything else at the moment. Right now I'm building kind of a video database and I'm always working on the process flow. But right now I think I'm kind of set with, I can tell you my second favorite system that I use is HomeBot.
Nice plug there. Yeah, we love it too.
Love that. I use MBS Highway.
Nice plug for Barry there too. Oh my gosh, it's like a reunion of old friends here.
I know, right? Like
yeah. We're gonna talk about everybody, but yes, there's no question that Barry's shit has always been amazing. You obviously know that he and Dave Savage have been working together for
yes,
I don't know, a couple years now. It was either a year in February or it was 2 years in February. I can't remember which.
I thought it was longer than
but
that.
Some great tools there. HomeBot, obviously stellar. Coincidentally, I had a personal tour of their facility here earlier this year.
Because they're in Colorado.
They're in Denver, yep. And an incredible facility with all kinds of cool things going on there. And a big thank you to the people at HomeBot for letting us do that. I actually took one of our other coaching clients that is local to go tour their facility because he'd been paying for it and had never been using it.
Untapped potential.
Month after month after month paying for it.
Wow.
No idea how it worked.
I use that for my neighbors. I give it away for free to everyone.
The one I've really enjoyed of their new key features is the listing notifications.
Oh, yes.
If you're a real estate agent using HomeBot and you're not actually using HomeBot, let me rephrase that. If you're an agent and you're paying for HomeBot, and you're not using HomeBot, man, get in there and figure it out. Call those people. They'll walk you through it and figure out how you can get more business out of it. But to immediately know when any of your clients throws their house up on the market,
which is really nice because they've kind of incorporated what List Reports is. They've kind of taken over some of that market because it used to be HomeBot didn't have any of that. And you had to have List Reports to pull up data and know when your agent listed a property and be able to automate some things there. But really, HomeBot has come a long way, and I love it. I love their system.
Yeah, agreed. And I think they'll continue to develop and enhance and so on and so forth.
Of course.
Obviously, I think the elephant in the room is always going to be Rocket. I think when you have that kind of money, you're just constantly going to acquire, develop, release, have new products.
That's always been the thing. That's been the thing forever.
Okay, then follow the model.
Let's
just continue to adapt and develop and innovate.
Absolutely. It's all about systems.
Make it better.
Yep.
Yeah, very cool stuff. I do think that this is where we're all headed, at least those of us that are going to be around for a little while longer. You and I have been at this game for some time.
Yeah.
But I do think that what's developing or going to develop with AI, and obviously it's exponential, the growth is insane, the development of it is insane. But I am still, considering how long we've had access, even just to like ChatGPT or Bard, which is now Gemini, and that's where I run because I'm a Google, Samsung kind of guy.
Too. Yeah.
I still see, for the most part, people creating problems for AI to solve rather than using AI to solve the problems they already have.
Right.
And that part just is driving me nuts. I don't know if our sight and scope of it is just too limited, that we're wearing blinders as to how great the AI technology is going to help us develop. But yeah, please, for the love of God, all of you out there, real estate agents, loan originators, stop creating problems for AI to solve. These are problems you didn't have and you don't need. Really give some thought to how you can use AI to solve the problems you already have. We have an AI module. I think we just started to develop it when you were in our program. Yeah. The two things we make people do now is record their conversations with brand new prospects, take that content, take those transcripts, and ask AI two things. One, how do I become better in those conversations? What can I be saying differently to help me have better initial conversations with prospective buyers, sellers, borrowers? The other piece of that is to analyze what they say on the other end of that conversation to help us craft responses, to help us craft emails, to help us identify personality types.
Well, and keep in mind, for those that are listening, this isn't a out of the box thing that you're going to do. You have to really go in and kind of train your AI first.
Good point.
It's like training a new assistant.
This is not something you jump in with. Agreed.
Yeah, you can't just jump right into doing that. You have to really work at whatever AI system that you're going to use. You have to actually go in and use it a lot just on day-to-day stuff so that it learns who you are and what your purpose is and what clients you're trying to attract and what type of advertising that you're comfortable with and all those things. Like, it can write your emails for you. It can all the stuff, but like you have to train it to what you want it to be like. And then you can build on it with something like that, right?
We refer to it as garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
It's not really artificial intelligence.
No.
What we basically have historically through the entire computer age is that computers are dumb. They only know what we tell them. Now, they happen to now know everything we've ever told them in the history of mankind.
Right.
Okay. So that's a big leap forward, no question, but it's still garbage in, garbage out. If you're not giving AI good data, you're not going to get good data. That's all that there is to it. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And step one, which you obviously did run through, is to, and you may have done that at Mile High Mastermind one year, is to use AI to build the perfect client avatar.
Right.
And if you can teach it enough about you and who you are and what you do and how you operate and where you operate on, you can get your AI to basically help you describe the perfect client and how to find them. Where are they? Where do they run? Where do they hide? Who do they run with? Those kinds of things. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That should be step one.
And these days too, you have to get comfortable using AI just in your whatever system you use. Like I use Gemini, but like these days there's AI being built in everything now.
Everything.
Like all the things, right?
I'm using Meta quite a bit too.
Canva has AI and Microsoft has AI. Like all of the programs you have to be comfortable with.
Fucking Facebook has AI.
What?
Facebook has AI.
Oh yeah, Facebook has.
Meta has their own AI.
And it has to learn, right? It's learning from what the input is as to, whether it's going to be useful or not. So don't go in and try to use it and get it all I was going to say fucked up, but I'm going to say fucked up. When you go in and just ask it stupid things, thinking it's just supposed to automatically know, you have to train. It has to know you. It has to learn from you.
It'll come.
So
if you use it, it'll come. Or you can be like the 99% of the real estate agents and loan originators I see out there creating images of action figures. How much of that have you seen in the last week or two?
Yeah, seriously. It's all, they're all doing it with like their headshots or their, and they're creating all this. Ugh.
Yeah. I'm seeing an awful lot of sales action figure. Yeah, it's a lot of silliness.
AI can do so much more than that. It can do so much more than make some silly picture for you.
Yeah, but we're not using it properly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not yet. All right. Well, cool. Thanks, Marty. And time always whips by when I get to spend it
I know. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It had been a minute. I trust you'll be here for the Mile High Mastermind per usual.
I'll be there. Send me the stuff.
I'm a little upset that you were here for 10 days and I didn't know. You were very stealthy about it.
Sorry.
We were in my backyard.
We were literally babysitting 4 children ages 9 to 2.
And your 2 dogs.
For 10 days in Parker. And it was a lot for Lee and I. I was like, I had 4 kids growing. I thought it's all no big deal.
Yeah, but you were young.
And I was still working while we were there, and it's carpooling and all the stuff, right? And baby wakes up in the middle of the night every night. It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, I guess that I wouldn't have even contemplated that being.
Still doing diaper changes and bottles and all the stuff.
Okay, so obviously a lot of people that know the show, that know our podcast, know you, know your husband. We love your husband. Yeah. How did Lee handle diaper changing?
No. He didn't do diaper changes. The youngest is a girl.
Oh, she was helpful.
So he's like, it's a girl. I'm not touching anything with her stuff. No, that's kind of I get it. You don't want to make sure there's nothing weird or whatever, but I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I'll do all
Hey, Lee, good on you, man.
Not
a single diaper.
That's fine. Not a single diaper. But I made him do all the carpooling with the other 3. So this is a trade-off.
All right. Fair enough. Cool. Well, thank you for doing this again. We'll get another episode booked.
Sure.
We are booked through the year. I think I had one person drop off. I can't remember when, either November or December, but other than that, we're booking into 2026 for season 9 of How I Met Your Mortgage. And for the rest of you that aren't really familiar, we do this every week for the most part, barring a few holidays. I'm not going to do one on my birthday, which happens to be on a Monday. But if you are, you can catch us live on Mondays at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and the podcast a mere 48 hours later on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. And we do all kinds of other shit. So go check out justthetipscoaching.com. Copies of my books are available there. We'll eventually have some data about the Mile High Mastermind, always the last weekend of September.
Which is really fun, by the way. So people need to go to, if you are listening to this, it's a fun thing. It's a fun mastermind. So
yeah, we have a good event. We're going to do it a little different this year. The first day is going to be strictly social media. The second day will strictly be lead gen, client retention, those kinds of things for agents and originators.
Okay.
So yeah, day 1 will be for anybody that is involved in social media. So if you have a job, you're probably in social media. If you own a business, you're probably involved in social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, and what else is up there that Jen wouldn't want me to miss? Oh, the weekly little tip. We do a weekly video blog, a couple of minutes on something you can be doing to increase your business, that kind of thing. So yeah, you can sign up or catch information on all that shit on our site.
And buy the book.
Buy the book. You're gonna whip out a copy of the book.
I'm not even
sure I have a copy of it here, but there are 2. There's just tips.
Yep.
And mindset tools for sales.
Yep.
So yeah, that's about all the news that's fit to print with this particular episode. Marty, thank you for doing it. Love
You're
you to
welcome.
death. Love to everybody there, Lee, kids, grandkids.
Yeah,
Hopefully
he's
we'll
out at the moment, but
all right. Well, hopefully we'll spend time at your pool again soon.
oh yes, pool time
Yeah,
this summer.
yeah. If you
He's
guys are
actually
in
pool
the
ready.
area, oh my, yeah, Lee and Marty have a incredible swimming pool.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
their outdoor living space blows my mind. It is
We
fantastic.
literally, yeah, we live out there. Yeah, usually once the pool's open, every afternoon, evening until it gets too cold in the fall, we're out there.
Wow.
We love it out there.
Day in and day out. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
And guys, you can catch new episodes every Monday. And I guess that's it. We'll see you guys next time. And Marty, thanks for doing it. Love you to pieces.
Love you. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye.